We provide the news, you provide the opinion on Breitbart News Daily, only on SiriusXM Patriot, Channel 125.
Welcome back to Breitbart News Daily. This is your host, the Executive Chairman of Breitbart News, Stephen K. Bannon. You're listening to SiriusXM 125, the Patriot Channel. Our number is 866-95-PATRIOT, 866-957-2874. We're open for business today across the continent and in Canada as morning comes to the greatest country in mankind's history. Breitbart News provides the news. You provide the commentary, the opinion, the assessment, the observations. We're broadcasting today from Studio 99 in Midtown Manhattan at the SiriusXM Broadcast Center. The infamous Studio 21A, the home of Andrew Wilkout, David Webb, and Breitbart News Daily, is being refurbished along the lines of what Caroline McGarrett, our producer, has set up in a new high-tech facility we'll be moving back into in a couple of weeks. We're here in temporary quarters with one of the most stunning views in America. It's going to be very tough to leave Studio 99. We're going to be joined in a minute by Kristin Tate. She's the author of a great new book. It's coming out next week, Government Gone Wild. A former Breitbart reporter. You can read her stuff in the Washington Times all over. This book is fantastic. She's going to talk to us about Andrew Jackson, but I want to go to Texas and Matt. Matt in Texas, you're on Breitbart News Daily. How can we help you, sir?
Hey, sir. How you doing? I'm a first-time caller, first time on the show. I just wanted to make an observation that I was watching one of the news programs earlier this morning, and there was a Republican, one of the political campaign guys on there, and he was talking about the superdelegate process and how, your vote, essentially what he was saying was that the common people's vote doesn't matter, that the people who go out and gather these votes and for the Republican Party and they get their superdelegate vote or whatever vote they get, those are the people that have earned it and should be allowed to vote in that process. I feel ashamed that, oh my goodness, I forgot to earn my vote. I didn't know I had to actually earn a vote in the Republican nomination process, even though I'm a registered Republican. I was appalled by that comment by one of the Republican, quote, establishment elite. It's just a disgusting process.
How does that set with you, Matt, about where we stand as a country in the political process? How do you think the common man out there now understands that it's a two-part process? One, you got to go to a primary caucus, and then later on, delegates, which some people said used to be ceremonial or ornamental, are actually not. That's where the real power lies.
Well, I think that's why you have so much support for people like Trump and Bernie Sanders, because they're not establishment people and they say what's on their mind. And yes, not everybody agrees with it. I mean, me myself, I'm across the political spectrum. I'm Republican, Democrat. It just depends on the issue. But I'm voting for my vote's going to go to Trump to try to eliminate that. I don't know. It's not necessarily nepotism, but it's the establishment that has just essentially, a previous caller mentioned, ruined or is giving us more problems than we can really handle.
Matt, thank you so much. Great first-time call. Matt from Texas, really appreciate you listening to the show and calling in. Let's go to Kristin Tate now. Kristin, there was and of course, the Huffington Post had it up for like 9 hours yesterday. The Secretary of Treasury is saying because of the hit Broadway play Hamilton, which, by the way, is a tremendous piece of artistic work, and now that Alexander Hamilton is back into pop culture, and part of that is the casting of Hamilton and the story, but it's rap, it's hip hop, it's quite contemporary, telling the story of an immigrant who came here really with nothing, from a very troubled, broken family, and really made his way into one of the greatest Americans that ever lived, and really the guy who thought through our entire financial system. That saved him from being ripped off at 20, and that Andrew Jackson, a personal favorite of mine, that General Jackson is going to be taken off the 20 and replaced by a female. And this was kind of looked at as a sop to particularly millennial females. How does that set with you?
Well, I think it's very almost patronizing, honestly, that the Obama administration will do anything it takes to just simply check the diversity box. And this is just another example of that. They're now saying that they're going to put like a mural of women on the back of the $10 bill, and then on the $20 bill, Jackson will be replaced with a woman who represents the struggle for racial equality. But of course, they haven't even picked the woman yet. They're just basically putting a woman there for the sake of putting a woman there. And, it's not only insulting, but it's almost just astonishing the lengths that the Obama administration will go through to check that diversity box, even at the expense of history in this case.
What do you think? I mean, is this, do they imply that they feel that millennial voters or millennial female are lower information when they do things like this, or can be swayed by symbolic moves like this? Or what are they trying to solve here?
Well, they continue to treat women like a special interest group. I mean, you have this idiot Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire. She says, putting a female on the $10 bill, this will show women that they can grow up, or this will show young girls that they can grow up and do great things. This is what she said when they said they wanted to replace Hamilton. And this kind of message moves us backwards, not forward. I mean, women are doing great in this country. Women are graduating college at higher rates. Our wages are rising faster than men. We actually outnumber men in the workforce now. So we don't need all of this nonsense, this, women empowering nonsense from our bureaucrats, and especially not by replacing presidents on the bill, on our currency, with women just for the sake of diversity. It's total nonsense.
Kristin Tate is the author of the upcoming book, Government Gone Wild, How D.C. Politicians Are Taking You for a Ride and What You Can Do About It. It's going to be out next week from Hachette Center Street, one of the finest of the imprints. Hachette, one of the great publishing companies throughout the world. Kristin, look forward to we're going to have a chapter in the book and a huge rollout on Breitbart on the book and have you back. But thank you so much for joining us today on Breitbart News Daily. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Steve.
This book is really special. Kristin is a real firebrand, tremendous investigative reporter, and this book is going to be a real eye opener. And I know it's going to be quite a success. Let's